Welcome. Episode number 5. Revelations with me, Kid Revel. And, this week, I'm joined by the one and only, the fashion icon himself, the entrepreneur, the CEO of Bluebrain Planet, Shu.
What's good, kid?
What up, man?
How you been?
Chilling, man. Yeah, so, this week, Kid Revel versus Shu of Bluebrain Planet. Let's get into it.
Yes, sir.
What you been up to, man?
Just chilling. Today was a lazy day. I was just tired as hell.
Tired as hell?
Yeah, I finished, 2 quizzes for both my classes. So I'm chilling on midterms now. But, yeah.
We can put that away till we get going.
Yeah,
so... So, what you been on, in general? What's been taking up the majority of your time lately?
Well, going to downtown, designing. Literally just sitting on my computer, just tracing stuff.
What do you use to design your stuff?
I just have a shitty Wacom on my homie.
Wacom? What is that?
A Wacom's it's like a drawing pad. But it's like...
It's like a tablet.
Yeah, it's the best one out there. But I just have a shitty
It's like a little one?
Yeah, it was $100 probably. My homie just got me it.
And so what do you use? Yeah. What do you use to turn that design into something real? Are you on Photoshop? Or
I'm on Photoshop, and then I take that to Illustrator when I'm making screens. And then yeah, I just make screens, and then I just print them on.
Do you hand print everything?
Yeah, everything's hand printed with plastic ink.
That's fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to teach me how to do that for the upcoming merch.
For sure.
So that's what you've been on mostly. What about any school? You been on anything else?
Yeah, it's my second year in college. It's getting tougher.
Really?
I gotta choose what I want to major in.
Yeah. Oh, so you haven't chosen a major yet? So you're just taking G's.
Yeah, the first 2 years it's more generally figuring it out, but proposed majors and such. But
Joey, you want to pull it up just to make sure everything's cool? So just doing general classes and...
Yeah, I'm coming up on my 3rd year, so...
Yeah, so it's just...
I gotta be choosing classes for my future and stuff now, not just...
Have you taken any design courses or anything like that?
No, I have not. I'm an econ major, actually. Yeah.
And so is that, really annoying, or is that kind of... does it make sense into, what you're doing in your life, or is it just annoying?
Right now, I'm gonna be honest, I'm on that bandwagon of just trying to get that college degree and figuring it out after. But while I was in college, I just figured out I really wanted to make clothes, so I just started making clothes. I met my homie Eric in college, who actually helps me. He embroiders the back, he designs some designs, and we just print together.
That's fire.
I go up to his crib in Santa Cruz sometimes, kick it. Just work on stuff.
So that's actually a really good transition into my first question. I want to know how did Bluebrain start? How did you start designing and creating clothes? First, let's start with that, because I don't know, or you could tell me the story.
First, there was no Bluebrain.
Oh yeah, okay. So I want to hear about that.
First, there's no Bluebrain. It was me in high school just buying and reselling clothes, essentially, just figuring out what I like.
So you were just fucking with fashion, you just
I just fuck with that shit. Yeah. I don't know, I like drip,
Yeah.
Just really trying to figure out what I liked, and honestly, a lot of these brands are kind of corny as hell, but I do respect some, Bape, that's such a big brand
Nigo's
now,
fire.
and it's like
Nigo is insane.
yeah, exactly.
The
OG
origin,
Babe.
yeah,
The
yeah,
OG
yeah,
Babe,
yeah.
it's fire. I respect that. Pretty big influence, cause they make everything, you know, like
Yeah, everything.
from clothing, like
Furniture.
like they got baby clothes, they got baby shoes, they got everything, you know, like I just found that so cool, just the lifestyle brand.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you went from just buying and selling clothes, and then how did you start making it?
In high school, I had this screen printing class. Well, I wasn't actually in the class, but I was just like hanging around in that class just because, I don't know, the teacher was super chill. Shout out to Mr. Sterna. He actually downloaded Photoshop for me, and that's how I started designing stuff. And then he taught me how to burn screens and like screen print with all this material. And back then, like, I was in high school, so all of this stuff was free. Like, I had a full like, just, it was like a factory, you know, like it
Yeah.
was, they had everything from like heating to just all the inks I wanted to use.
So this
and
was
it
at
was
school?
Yeah, it was a
That's
class
sick.
I had, but
fucking
I
sick.
wasn't in that class.
But you still got to use the
Yeah,
the
I
stuff.
stayed after school,
Yeah,
and I
that's
got
fucking
really
sick.
tight with the teacher, so he was a really good dude.
So what were you designing then? Like back then, if it wasn't Bluebrain, what was it?
It was just
Just shit you would wear, or shit you?
shit I'd wear.
That's
Yeah,
fire.
it was just the personals and stuff for the homies. I'd print on like
Huh?
hoodies, t-shirts,
Speak up.
backpacks.
Oh, look up. He's just trying to tell you to, because like your hat's covering your face, but
Oh,
I don't know. I
for
think
sure.
y'all are being picky. So you were just
Yeah,
designing
shut the
shit.
fuck up.
So you're just designing shit that you thought would be fly, but
Yeah.
did you have any idea that you wanted to maybe eventually sell it, or was it just that?
well, I saw my homie Antonio, who pretty much introduced me to all of this, Finamo. Basically, he was doing all this shit, and he was starting his little project. It wasn't a brand back then, but it was a Project Protestar, and he started doing that shit, and I just thought that was the coolest shit ever. Like, he'd help me, like, he'd teach me, like, all the things that he would do at school, and I was just like, damn, like, this shit's fly. Like, I started making my own, and then he started fully just pushing his shit out, like,
He made it a brand.
yeah, he had a pop-up. It wasn't a brand specifically, it was like a pop-up, so we just called it Project Protestar, and it was its own, like, thing. It wasn't fully a brand, but it was just some graduating thing he did, and
That's cool.
it was just, like, hella cool, and I really messed with those, like, I
Like,
really
you-
messed with that, you know
You
what
enjoyed
I mean?
the
Like,
process,
I
and you
enjoyed
putting
watching
it together.
all of it. Like, he had his own pop-up show near my old high school before I went to Venice High, near Hamilton. I
Mhm.
think, didn't you go to Hamilton?
I went to
for a little
Hamilton
bit?
for a year,
But yeah, right in front of Hamilton, product of LA, they had a pop-up shop. That shit was dope. And like he like sold out on all his pants, the hoodies. Like, it was dope. It was dope.
Here. Ben is tweaking about your mic, so I'm just gonna turn you up slightly. So then, from that point on, was it sort of like, were you just like turned on to just making clothes, and then you started making it like that, or did it take you a while to get your own brand and get your own idea and identity as a designer?
Well, yeah, I feel like, I mean, it starts off with what you wear and what you do to your clothes, I guess. Like, I used to always, like, hem my pants back in the day just 'cause. But now I do that shit purposefully, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, I want it to be this length, I want it to be like that. But going into making Bluebrain, it's also a learning process for me, because, like, back then I was just printing and stuff, but now I want to actually, like, manufacture stuff.
Like you want to
Like-
make,
Like,
big.
exactly.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
now I'm trying to get cuts for pants that I'm making. I'm trying to source materials, places, and it's a whole new process. But back then it was just simple, altering what I got and just printing. Yeah.
That's fire. So
Yeah.
it sort of just turned from a hobby to a passion, to
Yeah.
something you actually want to turn into a business almost.
It wasn't really a business at first. I just wanted to have people wear my clothes in a
That's-
way.
yeah,
But yeah, I guess I do need to start making income, because I put a lot more than
Yeah, because
what
when
I
you're putting
make,
money
because,
into
yeah,
it,
it's-
yeah.
to keep on growing and continuing, I would need a source of income. But yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Definitely.
That makes sense. So then let's just get into how did Bluebrain specifically, like how did that start? Like how did it all?
Well, Bluebrain. Well, I really like the idea of brands and just how, like, such a large audience can almost just want that. You know what I mean?
Like it just has a cult appeal
it just
almost.
like
it
exactly.
has a cultural impact.
It has that impact on
Yeah.
people, and I want people to be like, oh, this is Bluebrain. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
like
oh,
if,
this is Bluebrain.
without seeing like you
without
just knowing
just like
the
or
style.
just like people knowing just like the logo.
Yeah,
just flat out.
Yeah.
The
That's fine.
McDonald's logo is probably like the most iconic.
Yeah, or
logo.
Nike
and I
or
just
something.
like Nike, just
Yeah.
the swoosh, and and I just want like a well-known logo that looks good and that people can just.
But more so, you
represent.
want that it to be really good because you want it to have the cultural impact and you want it to
Exactly.
have the recognition and everything.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's fire. So how did that idea turn into Bluebrain? Like how did you make it a reality? If it was because it sounds like that was the idea you had first and then you turned it into the brand. Am I wrong?
Well, yeah. I wanted more mass production, or well, not mass production in a way, but higher quantities.
Yeah.
It's still pretty limited, but higher quantities of limited things.
Yeah.
That's what I like, limited things. And
Yeah, I think
I
that's
feel like
dope.
a lot
Yeah.
of people like that. So I wanted to make limited things that no one would have, or
Yeah.
no one else would have, like limited colorways, or like, oh, like he'd be wearing that and it'd be from like this season, or like all that. So I really like that. Just being able to distinguish my brand and having just tags. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Just like tags on my clothing, or just embroidery, or just a name.
Yeah.
And that's what Bluebrain was. I just needed the name.
You just needed the name on there. But so were you continuing to make the clothes that you just enjoyed and then just throwing the name on it, or did Bluebrain
Well-
have a specific vision?
Well, I was kind of fed up with stores like Urban Outfitters who like tax on
Yeah, I
just
fucking hate
blanks.
Urban
There's just
Outfitters,
like
bro.
I just find it so corrupt. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, it's very corporate, right? Like it's like
Exactly.
there's nothing artistic. There's no passion
Exactly.
about fashion. That
it's just
fucking
literally fast fashion. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly.
passion of fashion, bro.
But I just wanted to make something different with branding and just a name for itself.
So how did it physically start? When and how did you start making the designs, and when and how did they come to fruition and you made your website and everything? Was it over a long span or what?
It was it was a collaborative process between me and my homie Eric, where we wanted to start making clothes just at Santa Cruz, just for our friends to wear and stuff. And that just turned into more, you know what I mean? We just wanted to make more things. Like we want to make hats, we want to make like so many things in the future. Like
What was the
beanies.
what were the first products?
First product was hoodies and t-shirts,
Both at the same time?
both at the same time.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So it went from that, and then you wanted to make everything else. So when did the website come along, and when did the Instagram and all the like really trying to push it and get people to fuck with it?
First when me and Eric made the first collection, it didn't really have like a collection name or anything. We just dropped it as Bluebrain, just like it was red and purple hoodies and gray t-shirts, and then we just dropped it, tried to get the ball rolling, got like 50 followers, not even like 100, and just the close friends, you know what I mean? And then that did actually really well. Like
You sold a good amount?
like I sold a good amount, and I was like, oh shit, like I can just maybe keep on doing this, you know what I mean? And then get cooler shit, a higher quality stuff, tags, and all of that. So then my second drop, it was the spring summer 2020. It had the ring tees, I had sweatpants that had Bluebrain Planet on the back.
Why haven't I seen those, bro? That's annoying. I'm trying
They
to see
sold
them.
out, yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking annoying.
My first collection was actually, I liked it. I had bandanas too. I had
I definitely remember the band.
rave candies. But yeah, I had that. That did all right. But that started the ball of being more corporate, I guess. Trying to
I wouldn't
find.
consider it corporate because it's just you.
Well,
You know what I mean?
well,
Like,
yeah,
there's a
but
big
I
difference
needed I
between.
needed to find influencers. That's when I realized I needed to find influencers to wear my stuff.
So you
and
like you
really-
realized that you weren't really gonna get anywhere without actually being a marketer and
Exactly,
figuring out exactly how to do it.
The product can be 100% perfect, but without anyone
Without any marketing, it's
it's
gone.
gone.
It's gone.
Exactly.
That's how our industries are very alike too, because it's
Mhm.
it starts as passion, and it starts as, I hope, people do it just for the money, but you and I aren't on that wavelength. But it starts as a passion, and it starts as something you almost do as a hobby, and it's something you enjoy doing, and you want to continue doing it, but then you realize that you can't make it at the utmost quality without spending any money.
Exactly.
And if you're spending money, then you got to be making money, or else you're basically screwed, because then you got to work a normal job, and
It's hard to start making that money too, because
it's very hard.
it wasn't until the spring summer collection where I had my website, because that's when I set up my website, and then I was like, oh my god, like I want to keep it rolling, you know what I mean? So then we started doing weekly drops. So I had week 1, week 2, all the way to week 7, and then those sat on the site for a while, not gonna lie, but towards the end I just got it rolling, because I was just finding influencers to promote, like YouTubers, Instagram promoters.
Did that pan out? Like, did you get some good response from that kind of stuff?
Oh yeah, some of them really good actually. I'm gonna name some. Ruby Lynn, she's like a YouTuber. She's pretty popping, like thrift shopping, YouTube.
And you got
in New
some
York
traffic
and all
from that?
And I was able to get traffic from her, which was really nice.
That's dope.
That's when I realized that stuff actually
That shit works.
That shit works. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, it's crazy how one person can make like a huge difference. And like finding more of those people to work with is nice too. It's just, like, nice. They get to showcase their stuff. So it's like, yeah.
So
I enjoy them.
When did you? Okay, so do you remember what year did you start Bluebrain?
Started this year.
This year.
This year.
So the summer.
Well, no, actually, I've dropped my first things at the beginning of this year, but I started working on it, like designing and stuff on it, like probably like late 2019. So like, yeah.
So late 19, and then you started actually releasing it in
around this time last year.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so you were saying that you didn't start the website until summer.
Until spring, summer, yeah.
Until spring, summer, and then that's when you were doing the weekly drops.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
I did the weekly drops after.
So do you have any? How many collections do you have total? Like.
Well, collections, it's only one. Well, I don't count the first one just because it was just
the first stuff.
It was just the first stuff, you know. But I would say just 2 right now. Right now we're in spring, summer, or fall, winter 2020. So I just go by years.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I just categorize it by spring, summer, 2020, fall, winter 2020. So
that makes sense. I think that's how a lot of brands do it.
Yeah.
So are you trying to make a collection for every 2 collections a year? Is that what you're trying to do?
Well, I want to have more like a main line. That's the theory. I want to have more main lines, and collections would be titled, so they'd have a theme around them, and we drop those in between drops of the main line. So I want to have a main line where I can sell like 3 t-shirts for the price of 1 right now, let's say, but it's minimal branding, kind of Kith like. So like you're trying to make it more word of mouth than forced advertising. Someone from New York told me graphic is nice, but also you gotta establish the brand.
100%.
Just even the letters, you know what I mean? Just BBP or just Bluebrain Planet, anything.
Yeah, that's
just
fine.
To establish the name.
All right, so you want to get into some of the back and forth questions then?
Oh yeah.
You can just pop out with whatever it is you got, and then we'll just go off that.
For sure. So, going along the topic of passion, if music wasn't your main passion, what would you be doing right now?
Good That's a really good question. I almost have the same question for you after, so I'll let you answer after.
Gotcha.
So for me, my entire life, it's almost been like a back and forth between whether I was gonna be in film, or be a musician, right? So like from when I was a kid, like my brother and I used to shoot little movies on. You know what a flip camera is?
A flip camera.
Does anybody know what a flip is?
Yeah.
It's like okay, so it's like this little box, like this big,
TV commercial, right?
like this big, and basically it was like just like a portable recorder, almost like a
I'm gonna look
GoPro
this up.
before the GoPro. Yeah, you could look up just flip camera. Just like this little white box that like you just press record and you start filming.
I see.
Only like 30 minutes. Yeah, that exact one right there. Like only like 30 minutes total filming time until you exported it onto a computer or whatever. And my brother and I would literally come up with like the weirdest stories. Like he was a character called Spidey Man, and he wore one Spider-Man glove and like a cape, and I was like I was the villain every time, and so I was like I would have different outfits because he would murk me in every episode.
But as a kid, that must have been.
It was so much
funnest
fun.
thing.
It was so much fun, and so that like really started me on like I was really in love with movies like from that point on. And then as you know from like other episodes, I've always been making music. Like my entire life I've been obsessed with listening to and creating music. So throughout my life, it's like in high school and middle school, I directed, acted in, and edited multiple films. But I was also producing and making music.
Is it online?
Yeah, we could watch something after.
It's funny.
And so it was almost like a back and forth. I acted a little bit. I was in like 2 commercials. I got paid like
That's
a total
dope
of
as
like
hell.
2K, but like, you know, it was good for me because I was
Still
like I was
something.
young as fuck. But the thing with acting is I never really enjoyed acting, because the process of acting is you go to an audition and then you try out for this part that a bunch of other people are trying out for, and then basically like based on how you look, how you sound, how you act, they'll like maybe call you back, and then you got to go back for a callback, and then another one, and then another one, just so they make sure they want to get you in their movie and shit. I never liked that shit. But what I really liked was creating stories and creating like creating worlds, right? Like creating a whole imagination of like a world where these characters have these relationships and they're doing these things and this, like, I love that shit. So I would be a director or a writer if I was going to be anything. But yeah, I think if I was going to be doing anything else, I would definitely be in the film industry. Not so much music videos and stuff like that. Maybe I would direct music videos, but it's really like I would be wanting to direct or write like either a TV show or movies, just because I fucking love. It's like a very similar process to making a song. It's much longer because you got to write it and you got to produce it and you got to film, you got to do everything. But it's almost the same thing where you have an idea and then you have a process where you take that idea and you turn it into a final product, and you can look back on that final product and be like, wow, like I
like being creative.
I love that. I mean, it would be creative no matter what, but it would be one of those two things, I think. So what about you? If you weren't making clothes?
Man, I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea.
No idea?
I used to be a lifeguard, but I don't want to be a lifeguard.
She
my
would be a
whole life.
lifeguard at the beach, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I was at a lifeguard at a pool, which was kind of, I don't know, kind
Yeah,
of better, low-key,
yeah.
because
Beach would be fucked.
beach is just, the sun's just blazing on you. I
Sharks
mean, I
and
worked
shit,
at an
bro.
outdoor pool, but, like, the beach is different.
Beach
you
is
know,
different.
like,
There's
beach is
sharks
different.
and jellyfish. And
Yeah.
fucked up shit. So, like, is there anything else, like, as a kid that you were, like, super into, or was it mostly clothes?
I mean, yeah, I mean, I've always kind of, like, I wouldn't say I've always dreamed of it, but, like, I always wanted to just make clothes, not, like, as a job, but just having...
You just always liked it?
Just being able to have a studio and just all the equipment I need and just being able, you know, just making stuff and being able to live off that.
Yeah.
That's all I just ask for.
So you don't have anything else? Like, where, like, if there was no way you could be a designer?
I mean,
like something
shit,
else
I'd
you
be
could
a
do.
rapper, but I can't rap, so...
Anybody can rap, bro. So we're gonna say that right now. I'm gonna make Shu make a song.
Hell,
And then I'm
And
gonna
hopping on
leak
no
it.
beat.
And I'm gonna leak it. All right, I'm gonna hit you with another question then.
I'm gonna hit you with a question. What is your favorite song that you've ever released? Or it can be unreleased, too.
Ooh.
Your favorite song.
Oh man.
I'm curious on this one.
Wow. I've made so much music, it's crazy.
I can name 2 of mine.
Okay, name yours and then
West
maybe.
Coast and Without You.
Wow.
I'm gonna be honest. West Coast was a banger, dude.
West
With
Coast
the
was a
music video
banger.
too.
That song's 2 years old, bro. That song is 2 years old. Yeah, so if I was okay, I'm gonna cheat first and then I'll give you a real answer.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give you like an eras, like best songs from each era, right? Because there are
Okay,
multiple
yeah.
eras of what I've done. Like I went from Asher to Asher 1300 to Kid Revel, so it's like
Yeah.
different phases. So I would say the first phase, obviously, Trust.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of my best
Yeah.
songs. Like not one of my best
I like the
compared
rap
to new
in that,
stuff,
yeah.
but it's just like back then for the other songs I was dropping, it was really good.
Mm-hmm.
So Trust from the first era, that's like I don't even know if I was Asher 1300 yet.
Prod Black Mayo.
Yeah, Black
Yeah.
Mayo, because Black Mayo is actually a decent sized producer now. Like he's produced some beats for some bigger people.
I don't know why I remembered that.
That's like 3 years. That's like 3 years ago though, so he wasn't that big back then. From the middle era, it's either West Coast. I'm trying to remember my songs, bro. I got too much music. It's probably West Coast, to be honest, because West Coast was like a very different song that I tried to replicate multiple times. There was an unreleased song I had called In the AM.
Mm-hmm.
That song is to this day fucking insane.
Would we ever be able to hear it?
Nobody will ever hear it because that beat got sold to somebody else.
Fuck.
Like exclusively. You know what I mean?
Fuck.
Actually, I could technically drop it non-profit, but I just don't know if I would. It's just so old that it's just like the mixing probably doesn't match up to anything I've been doing lately. It's probably just not as good in general. But yeah,
Maybe if the fans ask for it.
if the fans like go crazy for it, like I bring it up again or I tease it at some point in the future, and people are like, "You have to drop this," maybe I'll put it out. But in the AM from that, like,
You're gonna show me that.
it was
shit right
insane.
after
Yeah,
this,
I'll
right?
play it for you. Okay, and then the new music, I'll do without Darian and then with Darian, and then I'll give you an
Yeah.
actual real answer because I'm cheating right now. From the newer era, so Mental Warfare, Hold Your Peace era.
Mm-hmm.
Out of Sight is one of my favorites.
No one is.
I fucking love that song. Like I like Without You, but everybody loves Without You, and it's like it's the most catchy song, and it's just like I don't like it. Like I don't like it.
You don't
at
like
all.
the love, bro. Come on.
Nah, bro,
You gotta
because
accept it.
like I said this in the episode with Lil Terror, I wrote that about a bitch that I no longer give a fuck about. So when I listen to it back, it's like fuck that bitch, bro. Like I don't give a shit.
You made a banger out
Like, I
of
was
it,
like
so
a real,
I mean,
yeah,
fuck
no,
it.
that's true. That's
Fuck
true.
it.
I made money off her technically.
I
Technically.
don't know if you want to say it like that.
Yeah, I did though. You know that song
I
has like
made money.
that song
off
has
her.
like 50K streams, bro. I don't know
That's
if it.
dope though.
Yeah, it has
That's
a lot
dope.
of has a lot of fucking streams. So technically, I made like $10 off that bitch. But so I would say Without You probably isn't my favorite just because I don't know. I think it's a little played out. You know, I don't want to tell anybody to stop listening to it though. Keep
I think it's
streaming.
alright.
Keep streaming Without You. But I like Out of Sight off Mental Warfare, off Hold Your Peace, Rebel.
Rebel's fire. That's probably the best like hard song.
Yeah, it's my best
I
hard
like
song.
that one.
And then unreleased with Darian, Villains or I Know
Coming out December.
coming out.
Demons.
Demons comes out December, and then Villains is probably January. But that's an exclusive for anybody watching, bro. Well, I haven't said none of that shit yet.
We'll go here.
There you go. There you
We'll
go.
hear it in the
Exclusive
future.
only on Revelations. You will be hearing these exclusive drops. You'll be hearing the dates and shit, I guess, if people get it out of me. So yeah, I would say okay. Now I'll answer the question actually. My favorite song I've ever made in my entire fucking life. Cause it's like that's a hard question to answer only because my newest song is always my favorite song. Not always, but one of my newer songs is always my favorite because I've heard it the least. But I think technically, like, those dogs are wildin'.
Yeah.
Technically, my favorite song I've ever dropped would be. Fuck, that's like a really hard. That's like choosing my favorite kid, bro. Like I'm serious. That shit is so difficult. I think West Coast. If we're talking all time. If we're talking all time, West Coast is still undefeated in my eyes, only because I remember recording that song and I basically didn't write any of it. it was just like I wrote like a little bit of the chorus and I freestyled the entire song.
That's fire.
It was just like in my head, like it was just like it just popped out. It was just like I knew what I wanted to say. So it's one of those songs, and like nowadays I think a little bit harder about lyrics, and so my bars are harder and more like you'll hear more innuendos and you'll hear more like stuff that you didn't hear the first time when you listened to it. Back then it was much more basic, but as like knowing where the song came from and knowing how I made the song, that's probably
it was your first
one.
Music video too, correct?
It was my first music video too, so that's it's a nostalgia thing. Yeah. So let me hit you with a question before we go too deep into my shit. Okay, so we already talked about how you started designing and why you created Bluebrain. So is there any other art that you're interested in creating? Like, are you interested in maybe designing some furniture, like anything besides clothing? I wanted to design
furniture, actually. I actually was gonna go into some classes for design and stuff for furniture. That's funny. Never did that, but I kind of wanted to. There was a phase where I was into furniture, actually.
Are you not? Weird. Are you not anymore?
But I mean,
like, I mean, if it came to it, right?
But
I'm not saying now.
If it came to it, in the future, definitely want to build myself like a fire couch.
Yeah.
Just like a 2-story couch.
So would that? Is that something
like
you would be willing to do?
Couches.
I don't know, like make one pieces and maybe sell them for a ridiculous amount of money, like later in the future. Like, the question is more so, what else are you interested in designing besides clothing?
I mean, clothing is my art. You know what I mean? My drip is my art. I like jewelry. If I could design jewelry, I think I would design
Not
jewelry.
If I could, but that's what we're talking about, right? This is completely like fantasy land.
Fantasy.
No, that I'm saying like jewelry counts.
Oh, jewelry counts. All right, yeah.
Like
jewelry,
it could be anything.
Jewelry, shoes, backpacks. I do make some weird ass backpacks. What else? Keychains, just cause. Phone apps.
Yeah, you need to make me some furniture, bro. You need to make me some furniture when I get my first apartment. I'm gonna need like a Warhol chair, you know, like those red.
Have you seen the grass chairs, like the one?
No, bro. So yeah, you gotta design me some shit. That'd be so fun. Okay, so you can hit me with something else.
So from being in the music game, releasing music and making tracks, have you learned anything new about yourself?
Oh, so much. So from like the beginning of when I started making shit. Okay, so it's like since I started creating stuff, something that I've sort of realized about myself is I'm trying to figure out how to put this into words. 'Cause before I was making music, it's like music gives me a lot of confidence, right? Music is almost like the base of my confidence at this point. Because before I made music, I was a producer and a DJ and all these other things because technically, like, I wasn't confident enough in myself to be a leading man. You know what I'm saying? I always envisioned myself as a DJ or as a producer because I didn't have the confidence in myself to be a leading man and to be the face of something, right? Like, I just didn't think it was in me. Like, I didn't think I could sing. I didn't think I had, like, the face, like, to be on that kind of shit. Like, I just didn't think I had it, right? But then when I started creating the music and I started liking my own shit, it, like, opened up a whole new thing. Like, it changed the way I thought about myself because I realized how much effort and time I was willing to put into things that I loved, that I truly loved. And also, it gave me the confidence to sort of treat myself with a little bit of more respect. You know what I mean? Because I think a lot of people, if you don't have a passion or a goal or something you genuinely feel you're truly good at, shit kind of is hard because you'll look around and you'll see other people, whether it's on social media or whether it's in your friend group, and they're succeeding at things or doing different things. And you just, even though they're obviously not trying to make you feel this way, it makes you kind of feel like shit. Because it's like growing up, like I grew up around people who were really good drummers, really good artists, really good other things. And those were things that I always thought I wanted to be.
Rivals and inspirations, though. You know what I
mean? Yeah.
Rivals and inspirations.
So it's like, yeah, something I've definitely learned about myself is that, like I said, it's hard to put it into words, but it's like, I sort of taught myself who I was by making all the music I have, right? And it's like I will continue to do that. And whether it's through life experiences or other things, music unlocked that for me. Like, music really unlocked a path for me to be confident in myself and to create things that I truly love and to connect with people through that shit. And it's like, whatever you would call that, whether you would call that confidence, whether you would call that a passion or I discovered a purpose, whether you would call it any of those things, like that's what I realized almost, is that there's more to me than
I think
doing whatever it was I was doing before.
Something I realized about you, just being an artist and just you dropping songs, you've kind of there's more control and just the way you do things. Just when you're dropping things, it's more established. You know when to drop it. You know, oh, this has to come. Music video, you're just way more. What you mean now. You got your shit together.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Definitely through dropping things over the years. Another thing, that's a good point, because I guess the phrasing of the question confused me a little bit. A big thing I've definitely learned is
about yourself
is how to properly release music, how to build excitement for music, and how to build almost a theme around the art you're creating. Because, you know, not everybody has to do this. Some people can just drop music and just drop it and that's it. But I like creating a vision for what does my music look like. And that sounds weird as fuck, but it's like, what color is this song type shit.
What would the music video look like?
Yeah, I mean, like I just like, even if I'm not making a music video for a song, like I still go like, this song is fucking deep magenta. Like it'll just be like I almost have like synesthesia where like I attach colors to sounds a little bit. So I just start like constructing almost a vision of how the song looks and just the overall I wouldn't call it the theme, but it's almost creating a vibe around music. And that I definitely didn't have that to begin with. I was just dropping songs for the shits. But so yeah, that's definitely a lot of shit I've learned through that.
That's very good. What type of artist would you classify yourself as? If you had to classify yourself as anything.
I'm just a musician.
Musician?
Yeah.
What type of music?
Because like, you know, like I've said many times before, I didn't start off as like a vocalist, right? I grew the confidence to become a vocalist, and it took me.
You grew your own style.
It took me a long time, and I wouldn't say right now I rap in my own style. Right now it's rap, it's hip hop, it's more trendy kind of stuff, but that's not like all the shit I create behind the scenes. Like behind the scenes, I play the guitar, you know, every single day, and I've been writing stuff on there for a while, and I've never put it to tape or put it on anything. But eventually, I'll be getting to the point where I'm gonna start branching my producer, instrumentalist side with my vocalist, songwriting, lyrical side, and it'll form into something fucking insane. But right now, I'm obviously a rapper. Everybody would call me a rapper, and I'm willing to stick with that for now. But when I start making the music that I will produce and that I'm gonna construct and compose, it's gonna be much different, and I have no idea what it's gonna sound like. It'll be
excited to hear.
Yeah, it'll be fucking insane. But yeah, so that's why I consider myself a musician, because the end goal for me is to be able to play at least 4 instruments. I want to play piano, guitar, bass, and I want to be able to sing. I consider my voice an instrument. Some people don't. I want to be good at all 4 of those so that I can, and drums, obviously. That's what I should have included, but like I started as a drummer, so it's like that's almost a natural. It's almost like a fucking like muscle memory for me when I start drumming. So I want to be a multi-instrumentalist, and I want to produce and compose some insane shit, both for myself and when I get to the point where people recognize me as a talented producer and as a composer, then I will start to work on other people's shit and start to add some flavor to whatever. But yeah, so I'm a musician.
Dope. Yeah. So would you like to ask me questions, or should I just keep asking?
No, I got you.
I can go on for days.
No, I got you with.
This is what
I got you with a few more.
Doing.
Okay, so I'll ask you about your favorite Bluebrain piece at the end.
Okay.
Right now, we talked about Bape a little bit, and so I don't know if that is your real inspiration, but what/who are your main inspirations when it comes to designing the clothing?
Well,
For Bluebrain specifically, I guess.
I would say culture aspect. I want to be
Can you sit back a little bit just so the mic's in
my
front of
bad.
you?
Culture aspect. I'd like to be on the lifestyle, like a lifestyle version, like, or a lifestyle brand like Babe or like Chrome Hearts, because they make everything. Like, I want to be able to make everything. Just be like, oh, that's a dope Bluebrain stool. That's a dope Bluebrain. I don't know about mic, but maybe a mic.
Dude,
in the
make
future.
a mic. We'll do a collab.
Yeah, mic
I'll,
and headset.
I'll design a
That'd be dope.
mic.
That'd be
I'll
dope.
design a mic, like, actually from like the inside, and I'll figure out the circuitry with like an engineer or something, and then you'll design like how it looks.
That'd
We'll
be
just
crazy.
sell one mic, and it'll
That'd be
just
crazy.
be like fucking expensive as shit.
Limited
Yeah,
edition.
and that'd be fucking dope. That'd be so
dope.
sick.
Bathing Ape, Chrome Hearts, my homie Antonio. 3D Noise is the brand that he's doing right now. 3D Noise is dope. Go check that out. Inspirations.
Like, are there any people like
Rick Owens, he makes
Rick Owens?
fire pants. Just the cuts on all his shows is fire. Kiko, he got fire pants. Kiko Kostoganov. But yeah. Luxury designer, I like Louis Vuitton, but like none of that new shit.
Yeah, the new stuff's getting a little weird.
But that's because it's like more streetwear luxury now.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's
Yeah.
Virgil. It's
Yeah.
off-white. Became a little too off-whitey for me. I don't know.
It's the hype beast train.
Yeah,
but
it's the high beast train.
it'll pass hopefully.
Hopefully. So it's like those would be your main inspirations for the design itself.
I would say so, or just the life of a brand. I would say.
Yeah, like you
Our
pay
main
more attention to the branding than to the design specifically, or what?
Well, every piece is different. For
Yeah,
pants, I would
yeah.
look at the cuts. For t-shirts, I'd look at the materials and such,
Mhm.
or like what type of print it has. Like if it's puff, if it's glow in the dark, or whatever. If it's tonal, like if it's like black on black or like red on red. If it's like the same color.
Yeah.
Basically. But I realized like I like the low key stuff where it's like tonal, more often.
Yeah.
But right now I'm doing more big branding because I realized that's how you
It's
get
really
your name
important.
out there.
It's
You
really
know what
important,
I mean?
yeah.
So it's like over time I want to become more. Because Bape had eras where it was more low key, and then they just completely blew out, like with their shark hoodies and stuff.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah. And
Just
then they started doing it
whack
over and
stuff.
over, and
And it became like a thing which I like don't really like that. It became a sellout basically,
Yeah,
which I would never
yeah.
want to be.
because they just
But,
kept
like,
reusing the same design.
Exactly,
that they sold
but
the
like
most of and
seeing
shit.
that they became a sellout and the downfall of them was inspiring. And just designers.
What's the best example of a brand that's maintained its relevance, but also not sold out and become like a fucking stupid hype beast brand? Are there any?
I would say. I mean, there's so many brands like resurfacing now too that are becoming more hypey.
Yeah, Von Dutch and shit.
Von Dutch and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would say
Fuck
my
Von Dutch.
favorite brand would be Bluebrain. The stuff I'm
100%.
looking at.
Bluebrain is the best brand on the market,
Just-
bro.
Yeah, I mean, just the things that I can't buy though, like jewelry and shoes, which I would love to be able to make those things and design those one day. But just the things that I can't really do right now, I would say Jordans are my favorite shoes.
Would you ever sell like one of one Jordans, Forces, shit like that, where you draw on it, or maybe
Shit.
screen print something on it?
I won't be able to do that because I don't know. I mean, it's just corny to me sometimes how like people take like Air Forces or like a pair of Dunks and they just make it, you know, they just change the swoosh or something.
Yeah,
But
but
I
what about
wouldn't-
the brands where people really draw cool shit on it and then sell it, like characters and like really like
Just customs.
custom,
Customs.
almost customs, but I mean like
Customs.
one of one, not like trying to make it your brand necessarily.
I would
just-
need to completely change like the shape and silhouette of the shoe.
But would you be down? Is what I'm asking. It's like, would you like that? Sounds like some fun, like that. I don't know. That'd be fire, bro.
I need to be on some Kanye shit, just like
You are on some
literally
Kanye
just
shit, bro.
be able to be like, oh, like change the shape of that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I need to be
Kanye.
able to
When
do
Kanye
that.
started designing shoes, he was already pretty rich though. So it's
Yeah.
like, I feel like I don't know.
I think it starts on paper and pencil at first.
But like you
But-
dyed some. What were those shoes that you dyed?
Oh, the Pure Money 4s. The
Yeah.
ones.
Like that shit's fucking insane. Like why wouldn't you just do that for like 2 pairs of shoes, sell them for $200 each?
It's the personal drip.
Yeah, I feel.
Personal
No,
drip.
yeah, I respect
'Cause-
that. I respect that actually.
Cause at the end of the day, like those customs and the things that I can do, someone else is able to do it too. You know what I mean? Anyone
true.
can dye their shoes. The reason why I like screen print so much is cause no one's gonna, unless you take like the file and create a screen and just. I'm not that mainstream. You know what I mean? No,
Yeah,
no one's gonna take my designs right now and try to sell them because I'm not that mainstream. But that's what I like about it.
Yeah.
That it hasn't been mainstream yet, and like you're not gonna find this shit anywhere.
Yeah, that's fire.
So, what was the question again?
Question was just like what kind of stuff would you want to design outside of just the clothing?
Outside of clothing.
And you were just saying chains. You wanted to do
Oh,
some
yeah,
shoes
yeah.
eventually.
Yeah, shoes definitely top tier, backpacks. But yeah,
Fire. Yeah, so you can hit me with 1 or 2 more questions.
bet. Well, what are good qualities of people you'd like to work with? Like, who is someone you'd want to work with?
Oh,
Like, what types
okay.
of people do you seek to work with?
Okay, well, something really big for me is like egos are really easily inflated in this industry, especially when you're surrounded by yes men.
Rappers in the money.
Yeah, so people who are self-aware is super important for me. People who are honest with themselves and the people around them. Like that's super important because like I've run into a lot of people in this industry that almost have a fake view of themselves. And just generally like what they're doing. Like they think they're way better than they are. They think that they're better than certain people. They think whatever. It's like being humble and being humble if you're big, but like even if you're small, some
I
niggas
think you
have
should always be humble.
No, yeah, that's what I mean. Like some
Yeah,
small
stay
niggas have
humble.
like big ass egos anyway, so it's like you should be humble through and through, in my
Stay
opinion.
humble.
People that are always looking to get better and are never satisfied is like super important to me because anybody that thinks that they're at a point where they can just chill and be stagnant, like I don't respect that.
You gotta thrive.
From
and do
anybody,
more,
like
yeah.
no matter where you are, no matter how successful you are, you should still be hungry. And I can't, that's easier said than done, obviously, because I haven't made any money off this shit, and I haven't gotten to the point where, like I'm really shitting on anybody, or I can even say I'm successful. But I'd like to think that when I get to that point, I'm still gonna be hungry enough to keep creating and working as hard as I am now, and doing that shit. So anybody, that thinks that they're at a point where they can chill, can't respect that at all. So definitely working with hungry people who are self-aware, honest, and humble is like those
I
are
like
the
that
main
motto.
things for
Stay
me.
hungry.
Right? Stay fucking hungry.
Stay hungry.
Any more questions? Because I got one more for you, but then you can show off some pieces and we can wrap it up.
For sure. One last, just like a weird one.
Mm-hmm.
If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
That's a fire one. Huh. I think, wow. Teleportation would be fucking sick.
That would be dope.
If I was just like,
No more
let's go
traffic.
to Europe, bro.
Oh, I wasn't even thinking about that.
Teleportation would be sick. I could go
yeah.
anywhere and it would just be sick. It'd be like a bitch that I don't fuck with is walking up to me. Fuck you. Back home. Bro, teleportation would be sick. Because, like, people who say invisibility are perverts. I don't trust anybody who says they would choose invisibility for their superpowers. So I think teleportation, flight
Bro,
would be cool, but, like, flight, you would...
into a bank and then just grab a sack.
Bro, I could do anything.
Out.
Like, while a store is closed, I could
Crazy.
teleport in there, grab a few clothes, teleport out. Bro, it'd be so sick.
Crazy.
Yeah, teleportation.
Teleportation
Done.
would be dope.
How about you? Okay, I want to hear yours. It's something you have to think about a little bit, but you could say teleportation too if you want. Because it's just, it's low-key a
I
goat.
think
It's low-key
just
a goat
being able
ability.
to, like, just, like, be like, make it into Bluebrain, or, like, you know what I mean? Just
Make one into Bluebrain.
just, like, anything I see. Just, like, anything
Some shoes,
I,
Bluebrain.
Yeah, it's just, like, like if I wanted to have like rivets or like holes or something, or like if I wanted to have like
Just
no
not
laces,
having to cut
just, like,
anything.
not having to not having to sew or anything. If it's like a long sleeve or anything, short sleeve.
Yeah,
like,
I wish I had the
hoodie,
power. I wish I had the power to
graphic.
make anything a good song. Where I get a beat and I go good song, and then a good song is
Lyrics,
done. Lyrics,
ad-libs, detune.
Yeah. I could also say mind reading would also be kind of cool, but it might not be awesome.
But that
it
might
might
be
get
creepy.
fucked. No,
That
it might be
be
bad.
creepy,
It might be
yeah.
bad because maybe you think you're really cool with somebody, and then you read their mind, and they're like, I fucking hate this dude, and then you're just
Or,
like, your best friend is no longer your friend because
Yeah.
like you realize they
Or
hate
you
you.
just like hear some fucked up shit. And you're
On
just
God,
like,
yeah.
"Goddamn,
Yeah, no. Teleportation. Goat ability. All right, so I'm gonna ask you, final question of the day: what is your favorite piece you've ever designed for Bluebrain? Even if you can't show it right now, just what is it?
Well, my favorite piece I lost, unfortunately. I used to have this black thrifted crew neck, and it just had the machine on it.
That's fucking sick.
Yeah. On Black Friday, I'm dropping some clothes. 10 a.m. I use Black Friday and check out at www.bluebrainplanet.com.
Do you know
I
what?
had to throw that out out
Do you know
there.
how much of
But,
how much of a discount is that on Black Friday?
I'll do 15%.
15%.
15%.
That's cool. So Black Friday
Um,
sale for Bluebrain. If you've been wanting some Bluebrain and you're watching this right now, take it as an opportunity to fucking snatch some because these drops are very limited. Because when you don't have that much money to drop on the shit, it's like you make the dope designs you want to make and you only make as much as you need
never
to,
coming
and then
out
it's
again.
never coming back. So if you want to see some fucking, or if you want to get some pieces, go to bluebrainplanet.com, check out the shit they have right now, and look out. Are you doing a new drop on Black Friday?
Well, I'm re-releasing some items and some new items as well. But yeah.
Yeah, so go to Bluebrain Planet's Instagram, Bluebrain Planet on Instagram, and just check out those clothes if you.
And I will be re-releasing
it.
the machine.
Yeah.
My favorite graphic.
That's your favorite graphic?
That's my favorite graphic, and the piece that I had was my favorite piece, and I lost it.
And so what are these right here? What do you have?
Those
right
are
here?
Save the Planets. That's my last drop that I had.
Are they still going? Like, are they still up?
I have some T-shirts.
Are either of those specifically?
Yes, the blue.
Grab whichever one you
t-shirt.
still have, and then you just show it off.
Just it down.
Yeah, you just hold it up right in front of you.
But yeah, this one it's puff print. Says Save the Planet. Got the Bluebrain tag at the top.
Hand stitched.
Of course, hand screen printed, hand dyed. But yeah.
Shit is fly.
Yeah, I really like the color of it too, actually.
Yeah, no, I love the colorway on that because it's almost like pastel on pastel.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking pastel is my favorite colorways easily. So yeah, that one's very limited. That one will probably be sold out fairly soon. And yeah, so that's it for the show tonight. It has been Kid Revel and
Appreciate
Shu
y'all.
of Bluebrain Planet. Don't forget to go to bluebrainplanet.com and check out the new drop, the one that's happening on Black Friday. That is this Friday, this upcoming Friday. So don't forget about that. 15% off. The code is Black Friday.
Yes, sir.
Bet. Thank you, my brother, for coming on the
for having
show.
me.
That shit was fun as fuck. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss an episode of Revelations live every Monday at 6 p.m. Hit the notification bell so you get reminders on when every stream is. And yeah, I love you guys so much. This shit is so much fucking fun. I love having new
Kid
people
Revel
on
is the
every
future.
On God, that's a fact. My boy is spitting straight facts. I love you guys. Have a good night. Be safe. Peace out.